Sige, go na.
Kita na ba? Sige po. Good day everyone. In this presentation, we will cover the chapter 10 of our module, which is the Managing Production and Service Operations. Managing productions and service operation is at the heart of every successful organization. It involves the strategic planning, organizing, and controlling of resources such as people, materials, and technology to efficiently transform inputs into valuable goods and services that meet customer needs. Operation refers to any process that accepts inputs and uses resources to change those inputs in useful ways. We have the production process. As for our input, we have the land, the labor, the capital, the entrepreneurship. For the transformation process, we have the equipment, procedures, technology, and for the output, we have the product and services. And these are the example of final goods and services which follows the industrial chemicals like methylene, chloride, borax powder, phosphoric acid, which are produced by chemical manufacturing. Services like those for the construction of ports, high-rise buildings, roads, bridges, which are produced by construction firms. For electrical products like transformers, circuits, breakers, switchgears, power capacitors, which are produced by electrical manufacturing firms. Electronic products like oscilloscopes, microwave test systems, transistors, cable testers are produced by electronics manufacturing firms. And for mechanical devices like forklifts, truck, loaders, which are produced by also manufacturing firms. Engineering consultancy services like those for construction management and supervision project management services, which are produced by engineering consultancy firms. Next.
For operations management, let's begin by understanding what operations management really is. According to Aldag and Stearns, it's defined as the process of planning, organizing, and controlling operations to achieve organizational goals, both efficiently and effectively. This means that making sure not only the things are done right, but also done in the best possible way. Now let's look at the two core concepts, efficiency and effectiveness. Efficiency is all about minimizing the cost or resource usage to complete a task. For example, if two people do the same job, but one uses fewer resources, that person is more efficient. Effectiveness, on the other hand, is about meeting goals. So if the target is to, for example, produce 10,000 units in a month and it is achieved, that's effectiveness in action. So, operations management doesn't work in a vacuum. It requires coordination with other departments, like, for example, marketing and finance. While tasks may vary between companies, the core purpose stays the same, to produce goods and services as efficiently and as effectively as possible. Next slide, please. Now let's talk about the engineer manager's role in operations. In manufacturing, this person is responsible for turning a product design into real workable process, selecting the right tools, machines, and techniques. In construction, the operations engineer ensures ano yun? Ensures that projects like bridges or roads are completed using the simplest and most cost-effective methods. Regardless of the field, their focus is always on quality and cost reduction. Finally, typical operations manager is someone with hands-on experience in the field and an engineering background. Their job is to continually improve systems, boost productivity, and align all operational efforts with the company's long-term goals. Next slide, please.
Now we have the types of transformation process. One, manufacturing processes refers to the making of products by hand or with machinery. Judge shops produce small batches based on sales orders, making them valuable for manufacturing items that are needed but not economical for many companies to produce in-house. Batch flow, a manufacturing process for mostly custom designed products characterized by flexible production volumes, selective procedures per product, general purpose equipment, process layout, labor intensive operations with minimal machine idleness, typically medium sized operations. Worker pace line flow, an assembly line layout for high volume standardized products or services, where output quality and quantity largely depend on worker skill. Next, please.
Next po.
Production processes. Production processes vary based on product type, volume, and equipment use. There are three common types, which is machine-based assembly line, batch and continuous flow or hybrid, and also continuous flow. So for the first one is types of production processes. Machine-based assembly line, including produces standardized products. Machine perform most of the work, specialized equipment use, high speed operation, flow is flat and repetitive, capital intensive but labor cost per unit is low. So this one says that ideal for high volume, standardized products, machine perform most tasks in a fixed sequence. So next slide po. So for the batch and continuous flow or hybrid process, including mix of batch and continuous processes, two layouts, one for batch, one for continuous, suitable for economies of scale, specialized equipment use, flat standardized production, and also higher capital investment required. And this is that combines flexibility of batch with efficiency of continuous flows used when products vary but need consistency. So next slide po. For the last one, continuous flow, including suitable for mass production of standardized items. Items move smoothly through fixed parts, high volume, rigid operations, ideal for product like TVs, automobiles, highly specialized equipment. And for the last one is operation is very efficient and flat. So this says that best for uninterrupted production of identical items, equipment is used highly specialized, ensuring speed and efficiency.
So, uh, pag-usapan naman, let's talk about the service processes. So, it refers to the provision of service to persons by hand or with machinery. So, ano nga ba ang service processes? Ito ay ang pagbibigay ng serbisyo sa mga tao maaaring mano-mano o gamit ang mga o gumagamit ng makina. So sa engineering management, upang planuhin at pamahalaan ang sistema ng serbisyo ng mas mahusay, mas mabilis at cost-effective. Next. So for the service factory, it offers a limited mix of services which results to some economies of scale in operations. This also affords the company to compete in terms of price and speed of producing the service. So meron pala tayong 4 types ng service processes, and the first one is ito, yung service factory. So sinasabi dito na sa service factory, mataas ang efficiency, then mababa ang customization. So dito gumagamit ng mga automation at mga makina. So ang examples nila ay yung mga airline operations, fast food, at mga logistics centers. Next po. So yung second type is the service shop. It provides a diverse mix of services. The layout used are those for job shops or fixed position and are adaptable to various requirements. So dito naman, may kaunting customization siya at technical skills. So dito, pwede tayong gumamit ng mga manual labors or at saka mga tools. Examples niya is yung mga auto repair shops, hospitals, and IT services. Next po. The third one is the mass service. It provides services to a large number of people simultaneously. A unique processing method is therefore necessary to satisfy this requirement. To be able to serve many people, mass service companies offer limited mix of services. So sa mass service, ito yung mataas na bilang ng customer, mababa ang variety. So pwede dito yung paulit-ulit na gawain. Kadalasan dito ay mga face-to-face. For example, mga bangko, supermarket, at mga call center. Next. The fourth type and the last is the professional service. These are companies that provide specialized services to other firms or individuals. So professional service firms offer a diverse mix of services. There is a lower utilization of capital equipment compared to the service factory and the service shops. The process pattern used is very loose. The process layout used is identical to the job shop. Professional service firms are oftentimes faced with delivery problems brought about non-uniform demand. Strategies that may be used depending on the situation are as follows. So before po yun, professional service are highly customized batay sa kaalaman ng mga experts. So mataas ang antas ng interaction nito sa mga clients. Ang halimbawa nito ay mga consultants, abogado, at mga architects. Next slide. So, ito yung mga, the use of staggered work shift schedule, the hiring of part-time staff, providing the customer with opportunity to select the level of service, installing auxiliary capacity or hiring subcontractors, using multitask floating staff, and lastly, installing customer service.
Move on naman tayo sa important parts of productive systems. Ang productive systems is consists of 6 important activities. These are the product design, production planning and scheduling, purchasing and materials management, inventory control, workflow layout, and quality control. Next slide. The product design refers to the process of creating a set of product specifications appropriate to the demands of the situations. Dito pumapasok yung identifying the market opportunity, defining the problem, and then developing a suitable solution, and after that, validating that solution with the real users. Next slide. Production planning and scheduling involved forecasting future product sales, translating demand into production facility procurement, developing timetables for each operation in the production process. Dito, they are both aimed to optimize the use of resources and meet customer demand efficiently. But they are operate on different time horizons and level of details. Sa production planning, ang focus niya is strategy and long-term goals. Sa production planning, production scheduling, ang focus naman nito ay mga tactics and short-term execution. Next slide. Number 3 is purchasing and materials management. It is crucial for firms to efficiently purchase supplies and materials for production activities, especially in high-volume production, integrating all materials acquisition, movement, and storage activities. Sa purchasing naman, ang focus nito ay the process of acquiring the necessary goods and services from external suppliers. It's a transactional functions focus on act of buying. Sa materials management naman, ang focus nito is the broader process of planning, organizing, and controlling the flow of materials from their initial acquisition through internal operations to their eventual use or disposal.
For the inventory control process of establishing and maintaining appropriate levels of reserve stocks of goods. So kapag sinabing inventory control, it's about overseeing and controlling of inventory levels to balance the cost of holding inventory with the need to meet customers' demand. Next slide. There are 4 ways of achieving proper inventory control. The first one is determining the order point and the order quality. May tatlong kinoconsider na question sa inventory control for order point and the order quantity, which is what to order, when to order, and how many. So, sa what to order, dito ay yung ano rong materials or stocks ang need na i-order. Meanwhile, when to order, kinoconsider ito para maiwasan ng stock outs and to meet the customer's demand when needed. And lastly, how many. Need na sakto lang ino-order mong inventory para maiwasan ng masyadong labis at kulang na inventory and para rin makasave sa expenses and costs. The second one is determining economic order quantity. Ito ay tool or formula na ginagamit para malaman kung ilan or quantity ng raw materials na need i-purchase para ma-meet ang customer's demand while minimizing inventory costs such as holding costs, shortage costs, and order costs. The third one is the use of just-in-time. Ang just-in-time is a technique or strategy for inventory control where yung business ay nakakatanggap lang siya ng goods from supplier kapag kailangan lang talaga. And lastly, the use of material requirement planning and controlling inventories. Sa material requirements planning, dito papasok yung production planning, scheduling, and inventory control. Dinedetermine dito yung need ng materials for production and to ensure na it is available at the right time and in the right quantity. Next slide. Workflow layout. It is the process of determining the physical arrangement of the production of a system. I think dito papasok yung facility layout. Dito ay yung tamang arrangements ng machineries, equipments, and other amenities pa in the production. Having good facility layout may ensure ng isang business na smooth ang flow ng movement ng materials and the production process itself. Next slide. Here are some benefits of having a good flow layout. Minimize investment in equipment, minimize overall production time, use existing space most effectively, provide for employee convenience, safety, and comfort, maintain flexibility of arrangement and operation, minimize material handling costs, minimize variation in types of material handling equipment, facilitate the manufacturing process, and lastly, facilitate the organizational structure. A well-designed flow layout helps a company save money, speed up production, and creates a safer and more comfortable environment for employees. Nag-ensure din to na ang work ay mag-move ng smoothly, reduce material handling costs, and minimize the need for extra equipment. A good layout also makes it easier to adapt to future changes. Nakakapag-support ng better communication between the teams and keeps daily operation organized, efficient, and professional. Next slide. And lastly, quality control. This refers to the measurement of products or services against standards set by the company. Certain standard requirements are maintained by the management to facilitate production and to keep customers satisfied. Ang quality control ay process na ginagawa ng quality control manager where dito nagkakaroon ng inspection or checking after the production ng isang goods to ensure na pasok siya and na-meet nito ang quality standards for industry and ng customer before siya i-transfer for delivering. Important to for business kasi nag-a-act to as safety measure and para maiwasan din ang defects or damaged products na mapunta or ma-deliver sa customer. If naiwasan ang defects or returned products, ay syempre magiging satisfied yung customers, leading to customer loyalty and customer delight.
Yun lang po, ma'am. Thank you po.
Okay, sige. So, nasa na group 5? So, thank you, group number 4. Ayas Haven.
Nag-chat po ako, ma'am, sa chat box po.
Hindi ko mabasa dahil na-reconnect ako. Sige, pasend
Okay
ulit
po.
ako.
Yan nga po, ma'am. Kami na po sana po susunod. Group 12. Chapter 12 po. Group 6. Kung okay lang po.
Sige, okay lang naman. D6 muna, tapos si 5.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Good morning po, rinig na po ba? Our group will report good day. Our group will report the managing the finance function. So for the overview of the topic, why managing the finance function is important because it explains the operations to run smoothly. It said that for operation to run smoothly, there must be a continuous and well-managed supply of funds. Without proper financial management, firms risk of failing to achieve the operational goal as they may not have the necessary resources for the production. Next slide. Ay, yung ano muna. Sa financial function. So, let us now talk about what is finance function. Finance function involves the procurement and administration of funds to meet the organization's objectives. For engineering managers, this includes determining how much funds is required when it is needed and how to obtain and use it efficiently. Next slide. For the determining of required of fund requirements, engineering firms need to determine how much funding is required to support various aspects of the operations. First one is to finance daily operations. In financing daily operations, daily expenses must be met consistently to ensure continuous workflow. This includes the employee salaries, utilities, rent, and administrative costs. The next one is to finance the firm's credit services. It means that it is setting aside money to cover the company's expenses while waiting for the customers to pay their bills. And for the third one is to finance the purchase of inventory. Raw materials and components need to be purchased in advance for productions. Without sufficient inventory, production may stop, causing project delays. Fourth one is the purchase of major assets. Large-scale purchases such as machinery, equipment, and facilities require significant capital. These investments are critical for long-term productivity and expansion. Next slide. Next one is the financing daily operations. The firm must have enough funds available to meet its everyday expenses. The first one is wages and salaries. Employees must be paid on time to maintain morale and productivity. Labor is often one of the highest recurring costs. The next one is rent. Office or facility space requires monthly rent payments. This is essential for maintaining operational space. Third one is taxes. Firms are obligated to pay government taxes, such as income tax and VAT. Delays in tax payments can lead to legal penalties and financial loss. Fourth one is power and light. Utility bills such as electricity and water must be paid to keep operations on running. Essential for machinery, lighting, and office equipment. The fifth one is marketing expenses. It includes the advertising, promotions, travel for sales, and client meetings. It also covers communications such as phone, internet, printing, and postage. And the last one is administrative expenses. It covers support services such as auditing, legal fees, and consulting. These are important for compliance and strategic guidance. That's all.
Financing the firm's credit services. It is oftentimes unavoidable for firms to extend credit to customers if the engineering firm manufactures product sales terms vary from cash to 3 months credits extension to customers. Construction firms will have to finance the construction of government projects that will be paid many months later. And when a new chemical manufacturing firm finds difficulty in convening distributors to carry their products, a credit extension may solve the problem. It means letting customers buy now and pay later. Pay later. This helps this helps sales more because people can buy even if they don't have all the money right away. It also a way to build trust with customers, making them want to come back. But it also means that firm has to wait for the money and sometimes they might not get paid at all. Next is financing the purchase of inventory. The, the maintenance of adequate inventory is crucial to many firms. Raw material supplies and parts are needed to be kept in storage so they will be available when needed. Many firms cannot cope with delays in the availability of the required material inputs in the production process. So this must be kept ready whenever required. The purchase of adequate inventory, however, will require sufficient funding and this must be secured. Sometimes inventories unnecessarily tie up large amount of funds. The engineering manager must devise some means to make sure this situation does not happen. Uh, Keeping enough stock is important for many businesses. And if a company makes things, they need materials on hand so they don't stop making stuff. Buying all the inventory costs money and sometimes it can be a lot of money just sitting on shelves. So the person in charge needs to figure out how to pay for all the stuff without locking up too much cash. Next slide. Financing the purchase of major asset. Companies at times need to purchase major assets. When top management decides on expansion, there will be need to make investment in capital assets like land, plant, and equipment. These big purchases cost a lot of money. And it is obvious that the financing of the purchase of major assets must come from long-term sources. Next slide. The sources of funds. First is cash, cash, cash sales. Cash is derived when the firm sells its products or services. Next is the collection of accounts receivables. Some engineering firms extend credit to customers when these are settled. Cash is made available. Next is loans and credits. When other sources of financing are not enough, the firm will have to resort to borrowing. Next is sale of assets. Cash is sometimes obtained from the sale of the company's assets. And next is ownership contribution. When cash is not enough, the firm may tap its owners to provide more money. Lastly, advances from customers. Sometimes customers are required to pay cash advances on orders made. This helps the firm in financing its production activities. Next slide. Short-term sources of funds. Loans or credits may be classified as short-term, medium-term, or long-term. Short-term sources of funds are those with repayment schedules or less than 1 year. Collaterals are sometimes required by short-term creditors. Short-term funding provides this quick access to money because the repayment period is short, less than a year. These sources are meant to address immediate cash flow issues rather than long-term investments. Lenders who provide these funds might ask for collateral, which is an asset the borrower pledged as security. If the borrower can, if the borrower can't repay, the lender can claim the collateral.
Supplies of short-term funds. Trade creditors refer to suppliers extending credit to a buyer for use in manufacturing, processing, or reselling goods for profit. The instruments used in trade credit consist of the following. Open book credit. It is unsecured and permits the customer to pay for goods delivered to him in a specified number of days. For financially weak engineering firms, the open book credit is a very useful source of financing. Trade acceptance. A time draft drawn by a seller upon a purchase payable to the seller as pay and accepted by the purchaser as evidence that the goods shipped are satisfactory and that the price is due and payable. Under the terms granted in the trade acceptance, the seller allows the buyer to pay within a certain number of days. The arrangement of provides the buyer some relief in financing his short-term requirements. Promissory notes. An unconditional promise in writing made by one person to another, signed by the maker, engaging to pay on demand or at a fixed or determinable future time a certain sum of money to or to the order of a specified person or to bearer. Commercial banks. Institutions which individuals or firms may tap as source of short-term financing. Commercial banks grant two types of short-term loans. The one is those which require collateral and those which do not require collateral. Examples of commercial banks granting short-term loans are City Trust, Premier Bank, and Land Bank. Next slide. Commercial paper houses. Those that help business firms in borrowing funds from the money market. Under this scheme, the business firm in need of funds issues a commercial paper, which is a short-term promissory note, generally unsecured and issued by large, established firms. The commercial paper is sold to investors through the commercial paper house. Business finance companies. Financial institutions that finance inventory and equipment of almost all types and sizes of business firms. Examples of finance companies in the Philippines are Pilacolar Credit Corporation and Consolidated Oryx Leasing and Finance Corporation. Factors are institutions that buy the accounts, receivables of firms, assuming complete accounting and collection responsibilities. Engineering firms which maintains sizable amounts of account receivable may avail of the services of factors when they are in dire need of cash. Insurance and companies are also possible sources of short-term funds. Industry reports indicate that insurance companies in the Philippines regularly make investment in short-term commercial papers and promissory notes. Next slide.
Long-term sources of funds. So what are the long-term sources of funds? Unlike the short-term sources of funds where it demands repayment in under a year, long-term sources of fund reaches maturity after exceeding at least 1 year. There are instances when the engineering firm will have to tap the long-term sources of funds, but why do they do it? Engineering firms rely on long-term funding to finance significant, long-lasting projects and assets. This strategy ensures financial stability for ambitious growth plans and provides a predictable source for ongoing operational needs. Matching long-term investments with similar financing mitigates financial risk and strengthens investor relationships, ultimately enhancing the firm's creditworthiness and enabling sustained success through avenues like equity, debt, retained earnings, and leasing. There are three classifications of long-term sources of funds. First, we have the long-term debts. Under long-term debts is the term loans and bonds. Term loan is a commercial or industrial loan from a commercial bank, commonly used for plant and equipment, working capital, or debt repayment. Term loans have maturities of 2 to 30 years. The advantages of term loans as a long-term source of funds are as follows. First, the funds can be generated more quickly than others, can be tailored to the needs of the borrower. Long-term sources. So the term loans are a corporation to stabilize their cash flow. For bonds, a bond is a certificate of indebtedness issued by a corporation to a lender. Basically, you are lending the corporation your money and of it. It is a valuable security that the firm sells to raise funds. Since the ownership of bonds can be transferred to another person, investors are attracted to buy them. There are 8 types of bonds. We have debenture, mortgage bond, collateral trust bond, guaranteed bond, subordinated debentures, convertible bonds, bonds with warrants, and income bonds. Next slide po. For debentures, it requires no collateral. For mortgage bond, it requires to be secured by a real estate. Collateral trust bond is secured by stocks and bonds owned by the issuing corporation. Guaranteed bond, wherein payment of interest or principal is guaranteed by one or more individuals or corporations. Subordinated debentures with an inferior claim over other debts. Convertible bonds are convertible into shares of common stocks. Bonds with warrants, which permit the holder to buy stock of the issuing company is stated. Income bond is interest only when earned. Next slide po. For the second classification of long-term sources of fund is the common stocks. Common stocks is the third source of long-term funds consists of the issuance of common stocks. Common stocks represents ownership of corporations and it does not have maturity and repayment dates. It lets you buy a small portion of a company or corporation. This is why investors are placing their money on them. When properly utilized, common stocks can be cheaper and more stable sources of long-term funds. And bonds and term loans, which must be repaid at a certain date, common stocks do not have maturity and repayment dates. For the third classification, it is retained earnings. Retained earnings refer to corporate earnings not paid out as dividends. This simply means that whatever earnings that are due to the stockholders of a corporation are reinvested. The profits left over for a business after it has paid out dividends to its shareholders. Because this retained earnings financing. Next slide po.
So for the sources of financing, as there are various fund sources, the engineer or whoever is in charge must determine which source is the best available for the firm. So to determine po the best sources, there are factors to consider or must consider, which is flexibility, risk, income, control, timing, and other factors. For the flexibility, some fund sources impose certain restrictions on the activities of the borrowers. An example of restriction is the provision of on the insurance of additional debt insurance by the owner. So, dun po sa sa tinutukoy po niyan is meron pong mga companies or meron pong fund lenders na may restrictions, which is yung ibang restrictions nga po is um, other lender po ay hindi na inaalaw yung nag-borrow or yun nga, nag-borrow sa kanila na mag-borrow pa or humiram pa sa iba pang company, which is dapat sa kanila lang. Ganun po yung ibang restrictions than other restrictions. Then, as some found, sources are less restrictive. The flexibility factors must be considered. In general, however, short-term fund sources offer more flexibility than long-term sources. Usually, short-term loans come with fewer restrictions than long-term loans. Yun nga, which is yung short-term loans, yun po yung binabayaran natin agad, which is, yun nga, short-term loans. Mas flexible daw po siya kaysa sa long-term loans kasi nga, short period of time. Then, risk. When applied to determination of fund sources, risk refers to the chance that the company will affected adversely when particular sources of financing is chosen. In general, short-term debts is riskier than long-term debts. This is because short-term debts may not be renewed under the same conditions or might not be renewable at all. The second one is repayment happen more often, which increase the chance that the company might miss a payment called defaulting. Yun nga po, dito naman po, sa company when we are borrowing, there are risk. Then, ang pinaka riskier daw po talaga is yung short-term debt. Kasi nga po, since there are short time na babayaran nyo siya, mas malaki yung inutang nyo, mas malaki yung babayaran nyo in short time din also. Parang there's no time para makapag-ipon pa ng mas matagal. Dapat mas mabilis. Doon po napasok yung mga missed payments na yun, titawag nga po na defaulting. Then income. Different sources of funds will each affect the engineering firm's net income in their own way. When the firm borrows money, it needs to earn enough to pay for the cost of the loan and still have good profits left for the owners. Sometimes, before borrowing, the owner might have been earning higher returns on the investment. Then, borrowing can also cause the opposite, lower returns. That's why it's important to think about how borrowing will affect income when deciding when to get funding. So yan daw po, may good feedback and may bad feedback din daw po ang pag-borrow dito po sa income. Pwedeng pag nag-loan kayo, mayroong good profit agad or may high return. And the opposite side, pwede din na mas mababa or malugi. So kaya po kailangan nating isipin yung isipin na mabuti kung effective ba yung pag-borrow natin. Then next is control. When new owners are taken in because of the need for additional capital, the current group of owners may lose control of the firm. If the current owners do not want this to happen, they must consider other means of financing. So, dito po sa control, dahil nga po, di ba po, meron tinatawag na investments. Yung mga new investors, nagbibigay po sila ng panibagong funds na ginagamit nila. So, yung mga old investors or old owners, pwedeng mawalan sila ng control or ng capability na maki-operate dun sa company nila. So they must consider nga po na magkaroon ng mas magandang financing po or mas dapat magbigay pa sila ganun para hindi po sila mawalan ng control. Para hindi po sila ma-overtake. Then timing. The financial market has its ups and downs. This means that there are times when certain means of financing provide better benefits than at the other times. The manager must therefore, or whoever manager must therefore choose the best time for borrowing or selling equity. So dito nga po sa timing, syempre dapat po tina-timing natin yung mga bagay-bagay. Meron pong ups and downs which yun nga po kung nasa magandang peak naman po yung company nyo, it is time para maganda po yung magbenta ng equity or ng shares. Then kung yung paghiram naman po, kung kaya nyong humiram, dapat nasa tamang timing. Kung kaya nyong ibalik agad or alam nyo na magigain nyo yung pambayad. Yan, nasa seasonal or wala sa season, pwede pong malugi or pwedeng magkaroon pa ng higher income. Then the last one is the other factors. Aside from the usual considerations, there are other important factors considered in determining the best source of funds. So they are as follows: collateral values. Are these assets available as collateral? Like, dapat po kung manghihiram tayo or magbabaro tayo, meron ba tayong collateral, which is yung is either property or equipment na parang hindi naman same value pero within the value nung inutang nyo or hiniram nyo. Flotation cost. How much will it cost to issue bonds or stocks? So yan, yung kung gaano nga daw po yung magagastos. Speed. How fast can the funds required be raised? So ito yung parang how fast nyo ma-reclaim yung inutang nyo or kung gaano katagal nyo siya mabubuno or kung gaano kabilis pala rather. Exposure. To what extent will the firm be exposed to other parties? So, next.
Dinig naman po. Dinig po. So, I will be discussing the firm's financial health and its indicator. So, we as an engineer, hindi lang tayo palaging more on technical side and hindi lang tayo palaging into corporate world. So, there will be time na magtatayo tayo ng business and if in the future magkaroon kayo ng business, please bear in mind these three objectives ng engineering firm. So, first is to make profits for the owners. Second is to satisfy creditors with the repayment of loans plus interest. And three is to maintain the viability of the firm so that customers will be assured of the continuous supply of products or services. Employees will be assured of employment, suppliers will be assured of a market, and etc. So the first one po is to make profits to the owner. Kasi, di ba, as a business owner, our main goal is to have an income. So, as a owner, nag-invest tayo ng pera, ng oras, at ng effort sa company. So, in return, inaasahan natin na magkakaroon tayo ng profits or magkakaroon tayo ng income. Kasi hindi naman charity ang businesses. And kaya kailangan talagang merong balik na income. So, yung second naman po is to satisfy the creditors. Bakit merong creditors? Kasi not all businesses naman po na tinayo is from the ipon of the business owners. Most of them and majority of them is nag-take risk to na kumuha ng loan, formal man, or informal. Informal meaning yung mga 5-6 sa mga tita or sa Bombay. And kapag formal loan naman po, we are talking about yung mga bangko, yung may mga malalaking interest. So, ayun, kailangan masatisfy yung creditors. Ibig sabihin, sila yung nagpautang or nag-finance ng ibang pangangailangan ng kumpanya. Pwedeng bangko, pwedeng suppliers or investors. Hindi sapat na mabuo lang yung project or yung business. Dapat mabayaran din sila with interest. Kasi kung hindi, masisira yung credibility mo, yung reputation mo, and also yung reputation ng firm. And baka mawalan sila ng access sa future loans or financial support. So the third one naman po is to maintain the viability of the firm. Kailangan ng firm na panatilihin yung viability niya. Meaning, kailangan manatiling buhay at operational yung kumpanya for the long term. Kasi it's not, yung business is not solely for the business owners. We have the customers, we have yung security ng mga empleyado na meron silang aasahang trabaho in their everyday life. And also, yung tiwala ng supplier na merong tatanggap sa goods nila or sa materials nila. So in short, kapag financial healthy ang firm, lahat ng stakeholders, meaning yung owners, yung creditors, yung employees, suppliers, at customers, masaya and secure. So, paano natin malalaman kung healthy ang isang firm? Doon po papasok yung tinatawag na indicators of financial health. Next slide po. Hello. Next slide po, please. Ayun. So, indicators of financial health. So, ginagamit natin dito yung tatlong basic financial statements na treat it as like medical or report check-up ng kumpanya. So, we have the balance sheet, the income statement, and also the statement of changes in financial position. So, unahin natin yung balance sheet. Pag sinabi natin balance sheet, financial status siya ng kumpanya sa isang specific date lang. So, sa isang date lang po makikita. Dito makikita yung asset ng company at yung liability. What do we mean po by asset? Asset meaning yung pag-aari nila, like yung cash, yung equipments, buildings, and receivables. While yung liability naman po is yung utang, loans, accounts payable. Then, kapag may minus mo yung liability mo sa asset, doon mo makukuha yung equity o yung net worth ng firm. Net worth po is meaning yung kabuang nakuha mong pera na kaltas na yung mga kailangan mong alisin or nabayaran mo na. So, the second one naman po is the income statement. When it comes to income statement, ito naman po yung parang report card ng kumpanya over a period of time. So meaning, pwede siyang monthly, pwede siyang quarterly, or yearly. Dito mo makikita kung kumita ba sila or nalugi. Bali dito nakalista kasi yung total revenues or yung lahat ng kinita, total expenses or yung lahat ng ginastos, at yung net income or net loss. So in essence, makikita natin dito kung effective ba yung operations nila, kung sulit ba yung pinaghirapan nila versus dun sa ginastos. And the last one naman po is the statement of changes in financial position or also known as the cash flow statements. So dito naman po makikita kung paano gumalaw yung pera sa loob ng kumpanya. So what do we mean by that? So hindi po kasi lahat, hindi importante na merong kita lang yung kumpanya. Dapat alam mo as the owner, dapat maintindihan mo kung saan galing at saan napunta yung cash. Dito mo makikita kumbaga yung galing ba sa operation yung pera, nag-invest ba kayo nag-invest ba sa bagong assets or nabayaran ba yung loans. So kung healthy ang cash flow, ibig sabihin, kaya nila i-sustain yung day-to-day operation nila nang hindi naungutang ng bongga. So, kasi kahit may kita sa papel, kung wala ka namang actual cash, mahirap pa rin mag-survive ang isang company or ang isang business. So, in short, para masabi natin financial healthy ang isang engineering firm, hindi lang dapat kumikita sila sa panlabas. Kailangan positive yung balance sheet, meaning mas maraming asset kaysa sa liability, tapos consistent ang net income nila sa income statement, at maayos ang pagdaloy ng pera nila sa cash flow statement. Kung kulang ang isa dyan, pwedeng maapektuhan yung stability ng firm at madamay lahat, from employees to customers.
For risk management and insurance. Risk management and insurance are crucial for engineer managers because businesses constantly face potential losses that could lead to failure. By implementing effective risk management strategies, they can proactively protect their companies from these threats and ensure long-term viability. The engineering firm pays a long list of exposure to risk such as first is fire. This involves the potential for damage or destruction of property and assets due to uncontrolled combustion. Second is theft. This refers to the loss of assets, equipment, or materials due to unauthorized taking. Third is the floods. This is the risk of property damage and operational disruption caused by the overflow of water. Fourth is the accidents. These are unforeseen events that can lead to injuries to personnel, damage to equipment, and project delays. Fifth is non-payment of bills by customer or bad debts. This is the risk of financial loss due to clients failing to pay for services rendered. Sixth, disability and death. Death. This involves the potential loss of key personnel due to illness, injury, or death, impacting the firm's operations and expertise. Seven is the damage claim from other parties. This is the risk of being held liable for damages or injuries caused to third parties, potentially resulting in significant financial payouts. Next po. Next po. For the type of risk, risks are either pure, where only loss or no loss is possible, like car theft, which is insurable, or speculative, where there's a chance of gain or loss, like stock investments or starting a business, which are typically not insurable. For example, a factory fire is a pure risk resulting in loss and the exposure to loss of the company's motor car due to theft, while investing in new machinery hoping for increased production and profit is a speculative risk. Risk management is a deliberate strategy to safeguard the company's assets and people by thoughtfully selecting methods to handle potential pure risk, ensuring the firm's financial stability. While risk management addresses avoidable pure risk, good management practices aim to navigate inherent speculative risk for potential gains. Next po.
in our personal lives and in business. But the good news is there are smart ways to handle it. There are five main methods in handling risks. First is risk avoidance. Risk avoidance completely staying away from activities or situations that could cause a loss. One of it is if you don't want the risk of burning your house down, you could simply not own a house. Next is risk retention. Risk retention is accepting the risk and dealing with any losses yourself. There are two types of risk retention, which is planned and unplanned. Planned is where you know the risk and you set aside money just in case. And for unplanned is where you know the risk and you plan to avoid it. that take people to the in the cashiers of or banning company drivers from drinking alcohol while working. Fourth is loss reduction. You try does happen. Example, these are insurance, where you pay a company to take on your risk. Subcontracting is where you share offset risk to deal with risk. Are just
So, sorry for the putol-putol po, pero that's for our discussion po. Thank you po, and we appreciate your time and attention.
Okay, so thank you group number 6. So yung sa number 6, yung dulong part, about siya sa risk management plan. So, si risk management plan, somehow kagaya siya nung HIRAC. Familiar ba kayo doon sa Bosch, yung hazard identification, yung naka-matrix siya? So, ganun din yung itsura ng risk management plan. Ang pinagkaiba lang nila, si risk management plan, ang coverage niya is lahat ng sectors ng isang company. So, hindi lang siya naka-focus kumbaga sa safety. Pwede siyang gawan ng related sa finance, pwedeng related sa mga supplies. Ano po, so pag sinabi kasi nating risks, ito yung mga hindi inaasahang pangyayari sa business. Ano po, yung mga hindi expected na mangyayari pero dahil may possibility na mangyari siya, ina-identify siya para magawan siya ng mitigation plan. Ano po? So ano yung mitigation plan? Ito yung ways paano ba masosolusyonan yung risk na hindi maapektuhan yung isang company. So example ng type ng risk ay related sa supplier. So pwede natin sabihin supplier risk, and then yung description niya is nagkaroon ng delay or there's a delay in the shipment of the supplier. So kapag may delay, ano yung possible na mitigation risk ng company? So pwedeng maghanap sila ng other supplier, yung nearby lang, yung para hindi or maliit yung chances na siya ay ma-delay. And then kaya nasabi kong same siya sa HIRAC kasi meron silang impact, yung severity and likelihood. So, i-identify mo din siya kung siya ba ay rare, siya ba ay possible, siya ba ay definitely na nangyayari talaga yung pinaka-highest level. Ano po, so, halos ganun din ang paggagawa sa kanya. Yun nga lang, malaki yung coverage ng risk management. Ano po, so familiar ba kayo doon sa HIRAC na sinasabi ko, yung hazard identification? Ayun. So, pinagkaiba lang talaga niya, pang safety lang yung sa yung sa HIRAC. Dito sa risk management, overall siya, overall sa company. Okay, so anyway, thank you group number 6. So sige, let's proceed to group number 5. So try to squeeze po yung ating presentation kasi last 28 minutes na lang. Sige, thank you.
Yan. Hello po everyone. Good afternoon. We are Group 5 po and today we are going to discuss Chapter 11 which is Engineers in Marketing and Service. And ito po yung kasi yung topic na para mas madalas po natin na nakakalimutan or na-overlook sa mundo, lalo na po yung ating marketing and service. Kasi kung maisip po natin, kapag narinig natin ng engineers, known po siya for building, implementing machines, fabricating machines, coding ng programs. Pero ngayon, iba po natin yung perspective ni engineer. Ano po ba si engineer sa marketing and service? Kasi sa totoo lang po, ang engineers play a powerful and evolving role po sa pag-market ng products and pag-improve ng customer service, lalo na sa mga tech-related at complex industries. But before that po, let me introduce my group mates first. Next slide po. Hello po. Next slide po. Yan, introduce ko lang po sila. Engineer Montalvo, Engineer Nepomuceno, Engineer Pawelas, Engineer Portes, Engineer Panaglima, Engineer Ramirez, and of course, me, Engineer Montoya. And for the introduction, i-discuss po ng aking kagrupo.
Hello po, I will be discussing the introduction for the engineers in marketing and service. Next slide po. Engineers in marketing and service. Engineers in marketing and service bridge technical expertise with customer needs by ensuring the effective communication, implementation of support of engineering solutions. In marketing, they translate complex features into customer-focused benefits, collaborate on product positioning, and perform competitive analysis. In service roles, they maintain system performance, provide technical support, and enhance customer satisfaction. Their deep technical knowledge enables them to offer valuable consultations and foster long-term customer relationships, contributing significantly to business growth and successful applications of engineering solutions. Ang mga engineers daw po sa marketing at service ay tumutulong i-connect ang technical knowledge sa pangangailangan ng mga customers. Sa marketing, sila yung nagpapaliwanag ng complicated product features sa simpleng paraan para mas maintindihan ng customers kung paano makakatulong ang produkto na ito sa kanila. Nakikipag-work din sila sa mga sales at product teams para masigurong swak yung product sa market. Sa service naman, sila ang nag-aalaga ng performance ng produkto, nagbibigay ng technical support, nag-aayos ng problems at sinisiguro yung customer satisfaction. Dahil sila ay expert sa product details at standards, nakakapagbigay din sila ng mga advice bago man pumili yung mga customers. Sa madaling salita, ang technical skills at malasakit sa customers is malaking naitutulong nila sa paglago ng business at sa tamang paggamit ng engineering solutions. Next slide po, please.
Hello guys. Next naman po is the marketing concept. Next slide. So what is marketing concept? Marketing is a group of activities designed to facilitate and expedite the selling of goods and services. The marketing concept states that the engineer must try to satisfy the needs of his clients by means of a set of coordinated activities. When clients are satisfied with what the company offers, they continually provide businesses. Next slide, bro.
In this slide, we will explore the 4 P's of marketing in the context of engineering organizations. These 4 key elements, product, price, place, and promotions, are essential for businesses to meet client requirements and remain competitive. Next slide po. The product for service. When we talk product in marketing, hindi lang ito tungkol sa physical products. Kasama na rin dito yung mga services or intangible products that address specific client needs. For example, when a customer buys a car, hindi lang nila binibili yung sasakyan, binibili nila yung comfort at satisfaction na binibigay nito. Ganon din sa engineering. The service we provide should meet the exact needs of our clients. And as competition rises, we feel the pressure to improve the quality of our service to meet those needs. Next slide po. The price. Price is another important element in marketing. Hindi lang ito tungkol sa pera, it's about the value exchange ng product or service. For tangible products, price plays a big role in consumer decision making. Pero for services and ideas, where every offering is unique, price is not always the main factor in choosing a service. What really matters is the uniqueness and value na binibigay natin sa service or idea natin. Next slide po.
Next to it is the place. In every factor is equal. If every factor is equal, customers would prefer to buy from firms easily accessible to them. If time is of the essence, the nearest firm will be patronized. It is very important for companies to locate in places where they can be easily reached by their customers. Customers prefer firms that are easy to reach, especially when time matters. Therefore, companies should choose locations that are convenient for their customers. Next slide, please. When a company cannot be near the customers, it uses other means to eliminate or minimize the effects of the problem. Some of these means are hiring sales agents to cover specific area. Companies appoint sales agent to represent them and serve customers in targeted location. The second one is selling to dealers in particular areas. They sell products to local dealers who then distribute them to customers in the regions. Third one is establishing branches where customers are located. Companies open branches closer to customer hubs to provide direct service and support. And last one is establishing franchises in selected areas. They grant franchise rights to local operators to expand presence and maintain brand visibility. Next slide, please. Next to it is the promotion. When engineer managers have products or services to sell, they will have to convince buyers to buy from them. Before the buyer makes the purchasing decision, however, he must first inform, persuade, and influence. Engineering manager must inform, persuade, and influence buyers before a purchase decision. Promotion, which involves communicating information to shape buyer attitude and behaviors, is essential. Managers need to understand promotional tools to use them effectively. Next slide po, please.
So, promotional tools available. Meron po tayong dalawang promotional tools, which is advertising and publicity. So, sa advertising is a paid form of promotion where businesses control the message, timing, and platform of communication. In engineering management, advertising is used not only to create brand awareness but also to highlight technical specifications, innovation, and reliability. So, yun po yung description niya and makikita natin sa next slide. Yan, yung example ng isang advertising statement. So ang sinabi po dito is introducing the future of energy efficiency. The EcoFlow turbine series built for today's demanding industries. The EcoFlow turbine offers 25% higher energy in output with 15% lower maintenance cost compared to leading competitors. So kung mapapansin po ninyo dito is about siya sa efficiency or sa kagandahan ng ino-offer nila na na EcoFlow turbine series yon. Tapos Next slide po para mai-compare natin siya dun sa another tool na yun. Next slide please. Ito pong tool naman na to is yung publicity, which means it refers to unpaid promotional efforts that aim to generate media attention and public interest. Unlike advertising, publicity is not directly controlled by the company, making it often more credible to the audience. So, yun po yung ano niya. And next slide po, para makita natin yung publicity sample. So, ang babasa po natin dito is, for immediate release, Innovatech Engineering unveils groundbreaking solar-powered water purification system. Batangas City, Philippines, April 2. Yan. Kung mapapansin po ninyo is in publication form siya. So, ang main difference ng dalawa is sa advertising or sa advertising statement, ang naggagawa or nagbabayad yung company para ma-advertise at mabigyan ng sugarcoat or mapaganda yung yung statement patungkol sa kanilang ino-offer na service at product. Wherein sa publicity naman, walang binabayaran yung company. Parang ibinabalita lang siya ng mga publishing para malaman kung ano yung maganda sa kanila. Kumbaga ay dito sa publicity is nare-recognize yung tunay na kagandahan ba talaga ng product yun. And next slide po.
Yan. Meron pa po tayong dalawa pang another na promotional tool available sa ating industry. The personal selling and the sales promotion. Hindi ko na po siya babasahin, mas padali na lang po natin. Sa personal selling po natin, ito kasi yung direkta. Kumbaga, face-to-face communication po yung nangyayari between the seller and the buyer with the goal po of making a sale. In short, ito yung mga salesperson na humaharap sa atin, sa inyo, or kung kanino man para po kumbinsihin tayo na bumili ng isang product. And hindi lang po kasi sa personal selling basta nagbebenta. Meron po tayo ditong nabibuild din na relationship. Ano ba yung mga words na pag sinabing personal selling, maintindihan agad natin siya. Una dyan is direct interaction. Kasi kaharap mo mismo yung nagbebenta. Pangalawa, yung customized approach. Kasi yung ina-adjust nung salesperson yung product depende sa needs mo. Pangatlo, building trust. Hindi lang po kasi one-time sale siya, kundi long-term na connection. Example po natin dyan, next slide. Ayan, may bumibili ng damit and nagtitingin ng sasakyan. Another example din natin dyan is halimbawa pumunta ka sa isang mall and ang target mo lang is magtingin-tingin, kumbaga window shopping lang. And may lumapit sa'yo na sales agent. Anong sabi? Hi ma'am, sir, nakahanap na po ba kayo ng bagong ganito, ganyan? May promo kami ngayon. Kung gusto nyo, pwede ko po kayo i-assist para mahanap nyo yung swak sa budget at needs nyo. Yes, it is friendly po. At kung magaling talaga, minsan napapabili na lang tayo. Nakukumbinsi tayo na bumili ng product kahit ang target lang naman natin is window shopping. Yan po kasi yung kaibahan or yung magic ni personal selling sa other na promotional tools available sa ating industry. And quick tip po natin or fun fact dito sa ating personal selling, siya po yung isa sa pinaka-effective na promotional tool kasi tao po tayo. And kalimitan, we trust people po more than posters or ads. Next slide po. Last is yung ating sales promotion. Dito, ito yung promotional tool na short-term incentives para ma-encourage po yung mga customers na bumili or mas mapabilis yung pag-decide sa produkto or bumili ng produkto. In short, ito yung mga panandalian pong offer na sobrang nakakatempo. Kaya minsan, kahit hindi mo kailangan, mapapabili ka na lang. Ito, ang sales promotion, short-term siya, yung nabanggit ko, kasi may deadline para mabilis yung pag-decide ng pagbili sa product. Pangalawa, incentive-based, kasi may mga freebies kang nakikita dyan, discounts, promos, and also, ang pinaka-target talaga ni sales promotion is to boost yung sales. Kasi ito po yung ginagamit nilang promotional tool para panghatak po lalo during slow season. Kung hindi mabenta yung kanilang product, ginagamit po nila yung ganito. Next slide po. Ano-ano ba yung mga examples ni sales promotion? Meron tayo dyan displays, contest, sweepstakes, coupons, trading stamps, prizes, samples, demonstrations, and referral gifts. And mas pinakakilala po or mas popular po sa sales promotion na example is yung ating contest and sweepstakes. Next slide po. Yan, ganito po ang example ni sales promotion. Another example po niyan is halimbawa naglalakad lang po tayo para mag-grocery and may nakita tayong isang sign doon, buy one take one only today. Kasi minsan may time na hindi mo naman kailangan ng sobra-sobra pang product. Pero mapapaisip ka na lang, sayang naman. Kaya ayun, ang ending, napapabili ka rin. Or minsan may makikita ka naman na first 100 customers get a free tumbler. Ay sayang naman yung tumbler. Kaya parang sa isip natin, lalo na sa mga nanay, na ang isip is patipid, napapabili talaga. Kasi sayang nga naman. Kasi isa siya sa instant motivation para mapabili or mas makamura. Quick tip po natin for sales promotion is, yung sales promotion, yan po yung pinaka-dahilan kung bakit minsan hindi natin alam, lumalabas na lang tayo na imbis na isa lang yung dala natin, o isang product lang yung dala natin, minsan lumalabas tayo ng bit-bit ay 3 eco bag. Kaya ayun po, next slide po.
Strategic marketing for engineers. Next slide po. Strategic marketing helps engineer managers identify and serve markets that best match their company's strengths. It provides a clear process for aligning products and services with the right opportunities to maximize success. One of the most important steps in this process is selecting a target market. A market is made up of individuals or organizations who are both willing and able to buy a product or service, but not all of them are the same. They can be grouped based on similar needs into segments, which is the target market. A target market is the specific group or segment that a company chooses to serve. There are 3 key steps in selecting a target market. Step 1, divide. We begin by dividing the total market into segments, which are groups of people or organizations with similar needs or characteristics. For example, in the construction industry, segments could include residential customers, industrial clients, or government projects. Step 2, analyze. Once we have the segments, we analyze each one to assess their profit potential. We look at factors like demand, size, competition, and how well we can serve them. This step helps determine which segment is worth pursuing. Last step, select. Based on the analysis, we are to select the target market or segment that the company will actually serve. This selection should align with both the market's potential and company's capabilities. In the end, the goal of selecting a target market is to concentrate your marketing and operational efforts on the people or organizations most likely to bring profit to your company and whom your company is best prepared to serve effectively. Next slide.
Next naman po is developing a marketing mix. After identifying the target market, a marketing mix must be created and maintained. It also consists of product, price, promotion, and place. Sa product, what are you offering to meet customer needs? Sa price naman, how much customers pay? And promotion, how you communicate and persuade. And last, the place, where and how the product is distributed. Okay, next slide po. In a changing market environment, the engineer manager can manipulate any or all variables to achieve company goals. Example na dito yung pag-enhance ng product quality or pagbababa ng selling price and make promotion more aggressive and lastly, expand distribution areas. Yun lang po, ma'am. Thank you.
Yun, and that wraps up po our presentation. So sa kabuuan, mas nare-realize po natin na ang mga engineers, hindi lang po siya talaga for laboratory, for machine shop, kasi they play po a key role sa ating marketing, lalo na sa mga technical products na kailangan ng clear explanations, innovations, and trust. At sa service din, lalo na, kasi mas nakakatulong mga engineers sa customer experiences smoother, more efficient, and high-tech. In short, engineers are not just builders. They are communicators, innovators, and silent warriors sa success ng ating ng maraming businesses ngayon. Kaya thank you for listening po. Again, we are Group 5. Thank you for your time and attention. Kung may questions po kayo, open po kami for discussion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you group number 5. Ayan. So, ang kanilang topic is related sa marketing. So baka magtaka kayo bakit kaya na-discuss si marketing dito sa topic sa ating buong course, ano? So, importante si marketing lalo na sa mga engineering firms kasi lagi sila nakakapag-develop ng panibagong product, and magiging role nyo as engineers is kayo yung mag-isip ng way paano ba siya mas magandang may i-market sa customers. Kasi kayo yung makakaalam ano ba yung purpose ng product nyo, para saan ba siya gagamitin, and ano ba yung mga magiging benefits ni customer doon sa product na yon. Ano po, so kaya diniscuss yung iba't ibang types ng marketing, kagaya ng promotion, ano po, tapos na-discuss din yung mga personal selling, yung mga coupons na nabanggit kanina, ano po, so lahat yun ay helpful sa pag-create ng magandang marketing. Ayan, okay, so thank you group number 5, and ayan, umabot tayo kahit tayo ay medyo late na nagsimula. Ayun, so may questions ba kayo sa mga nag-present kanina? Wala naman po. Hello, wala naman, malinaw naman po. Ayan, sige, thank you. Ayan, so kukunti na pala yung nandito sa Meet. Sige, ino-note ko na lang. Yes, Precious.
Ma'am present po. Hindi lang po nakahabol po sa attendance kanina. Thank you po.
Sige, hindi pa ako nag-attendance. Ngayon pa lang sana. Sige, pinipicturan ko lang sino yung mga present today. Ano? Ayan, sige. So, yung iba ay siguro dahil tapos na sila mag-report. Or baka may iniintindi. Ayan, sige. May nagtaas pa ng kamay.
Ma'am, excuse po. Kasama ko po si Aubrey.
Okay, sige. Yes, Aubrey.
Bale po present din po si De Los Reyes. Kasama ko po siya ngayon.
Okay, bali magkakasama kayo. Okay, sige. De Los Reyes at si Roblin.
De Los Reyes lang po.
Okay. Hindi, yung isa kanina. May sino ba yung nagsalita kanina?
Si De Los Reyes po yun.
Okay. Sige. Okay, sige. So, sige. Kung wala na kayong question, dito na mag-end ang ating klase. So, ang pasa ng final project ay sa May 2 pa, ha? Sa Friday. So, kung doon nyo ilalagay yung link doon sa Google Sheets natin kung saan nyo nakuha yung topic nyo. Ha? Okay. So, sige po. Kung wala na question, yun na po yun. Yung presentation na yun, yung video, yun na po yung final project. And then, I'll see you next week na lang sa ating quiz week. Bye-bye.
Thank you po,
Thank you po.